6th century BC, the walled city of Al-Ula, Dedan, was established, which is a sparkling oasis with fertile soil and fresh water in the desert valley. It is located on the trade route that makes it easy for merchants to transport their goods, such as silk, spices, and other goods from the Arabian Peninsula and Egypt until they reach India. The establishment of the city of Worms with the ancient Lehian kingdom that lives north of Al-Ula and its rule continued from the 2nd to the 5th century BC, and the oasis passed in its ancient history to several stages. The Worms kingdom expanded between the 6th and 7th centuries BC. Dedan was mentioned in the inscriptions of Haran, and from this method the king of Babylon prepared a military campaign heading to the north of the Arabian Peninsula in the year 552 BC, where he occupied, and forced, the city of Tama, Dedan and Yathrib to submit to his rule, and at the beginning of the 5th century BC the rule of the kingdom became hereditary at the time of the rule of the kingdom of Lahian from about 100 years BC. The Nabateans were the princes of the region at that time until the year 106 AD, but when the Romans invaded their capital, Petra. And for this, the rule and power of the Nabateans moved to Madain Sala and made it their second capital. It is about 22 kilometers, 14 miles, north of Al-Ula. The province of Al-Ula is distinguished by the beauty of its mountains, the shape and formation of the mountain that surrounds the valley, and this made abundant opportunities for rock art, sculpture, making Al-Ula one of the richest rocky areas in the kingdom. The most prominent of which is Mount Ikma, which is distinguished by its large facade with strange and amazing symbols and sculptures, which is located in the southern part of the governorate and has a large engraved rock that displays hundreds of pictures, including shooting scenes of hunting and various types of animals such as caribou is the most common species, but camels, horses and other species can also be found. The heritage village of Al-Ula, known as Deira, is a traditional Arab village to which the inhabitants of the oasis moved. The oasis is a land in the middle of the desert with water and trees. Thank you for watching. For more information, there is a link in the description box. See it.